Hello everyone, this is Shantanu Bhosle and you are watching Curious Academy. In our today's video, we will start Ancient History and the book for reference is Tamil Nadu Board Class 11th History book. History has two eyes, one is chronology and the other is geography. A country's geography largely determines its historical events. The history of India is also influenced by its geography. The Indian subcontinent is a well-defined geographical unit. It may be divided into three major regions: the Himalayan mountains, the Indo-Gangetic plains, and the southern peninsula. There are 5 countries in the subcontinent: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan. First, the Himalayan mountains. The Himalayan mountains are situated on the north of India. Starting from the Pamir in the extreme northwest of India, the mighty Himalayan range extends towards northeast. It has a length of nearly 2560 kilometers with an average breadth of 240 to 320 kilometers. The highest peak of Himalayas is known as Mount Everest, with its height being 8,869 meters. It acts as a natural wall and protects the country against the cold Arctic winds blowing from Siberia through Central Asia. This keeps the climate of northern India fairly warm throughout the year. The Himalayan region is mostly inhospitable in winter and generally covered with snow. It was considered for a long time that the Himalayas stood as a natural barrier to protect India against invasions. But the passes in the northwest, mountains such as Khyber, Bolan, Kurram, and Gomal provided easy routes between India and Central Asia. These passes are situated in the Hindu Kush, Suleiman, and Kirthar ranges. From prehistoric times, there was a continuous flow of traffic through these passes. Many people came to India through these passes as invaders and immigrants. The Indo-Aryans, the Indo-Greeks, Parthians, Sakas, Kushanas, Hunas, and Turks entered India through these passes. The Swat Valley in this region formed another important route. Alexander of Macedon came to India through this route. Apart from invading armies, missionaries and merchants came to India using these routes. Therefore, these passes in the northwest mountains had facilitated trade as well as cultural contacts between India and the Central Asia. In the north of Kashmir is Karakoram range, the second highest peak in the world. The valley of Kashmir is surrounded by high mountains. However, it could be reached through several passes. The Kashmir Valley remains unique for its tradition and culture. Nepal is also a small valley under the foot of Himalayas, and it is accessible from Gangetic plains through a number of passes. In the east, the Himalayas extend up to Assam. Now let's start our second topic, the Indo-Gangetic Plain. The Indo-Gangetic Plain is irrigated by 3 important rivers, the Gangas, Indus, and Brahmaputra. This vast plain is most fertile and productive because of the alluvial soil brought by the streams of the rivers and its tributaries. The Indus River rises beyond the Himalayas, and its major tributaries are the Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, and Beas. The Punjab plains are benefited by the Indus River system. The literal meaning of the term Punjab is the land of 5 rivers. The Thar Desert and Aravalli Hills are situated in between the Indus and the Gangetic plains. Mount Abu is the highest point, 5,650 in the Aravalli Hills. The Ganga River rises in the Himalayas, flows south and then towards the east. The river Yamuna flows almost parallel to the Ganga and then joins it. The area between these two rivers is called Doab, meaning the land between two rivers. The most important tributaries of the Ganga are the Gomti, Sarayu, Ghagra and Gandak. In the east of India, the Ganges plain merges into the plains of Brahmaputra. The river Brahmaputra rises beyond the Himalayas, flows across Tibet and then continues through the plains of northeast India. In the plains, it is a vast but a slow moving river forming several islands. The Harappan culture flourished in the Indus Valley. The Vedic culture prospered in the western Gangetic plain. Banaras, Allahabad, Agra and Patliputra are some of the important sites of the Gangetic plain. The city of Patliputra was situated at the confluence of Son river with the Ganges. In the ancient period, Patliputra had remained the capital for the Mauryas, Sungas, Guptas and other kingdoms. The most important city on the western side of the Gangetic plain is Delhi. Most of the decisive battles of Indian history such as Kurukshetra, Tarain and Panipat were fought near Delhi. Also, this plain had always been a source of temptation and attraction for the foreign invaders due to its fertility and productive wealth. Important powers fought for the possession of these plains and valleys, especially the Ganga Yamuna Doab, proved to be the most coveted and contested area. The rivers in this region served as an arteries of commerce and communication. In ancient times, it was difficult to make roads, and so men and material were moved by boat. The importance of rivers for communication continued till the days of the East India Company. Third topic, the Southern Peninsula. The Vindhya and Satpura mountains along with Narmada and the Tapti rivers form the great dividing line between northern and southern India. The plateau to the south of Vindhya mountains is known as the Deccan Plateau. It consists of volcanic rock which is different from the northern mountains. As these rocks are easier to cut into, we find a number of rock-cut monasteries and temples in the Deccan. The Deccan Plateau is flanked by the Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghats. The Coromandel coast consists between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. The Western Ghats runs along the Arabian Sea, and the lands between these are known as Konkan up to the Goa and beyond that as Kanara. The southernmost part is known as the Malabar coast. The Deccan Plateau acted as a bridge between the north and south India. However, the dense forests in the Vindhya mountains make this region isolated from the north. The language and the culture in the southern peninsula are preserved intact for a long time due to its geographical isolation. The Palaghat Pass was an important trade route for the Indo-Roman trade in the ancient times. The Anaimudi is the highest peak in the southern peninsula. Dodapetta is another highest peak in the western Ghats. The eastern Ghats are not very high and have several openings caused by eastward flowing of rivers into the Bay of Bengal. The major rivers of the southern peninsula are almost running parallel. Mahanandi is at eastern end of the peninsula. Narmada and Tapi run from east to west. Other rivers like Godavari, Krishna, Tungabhadra and Kaveri flow from west to east. These rivers make the plateau into a fertile rice producing soil. Throughout history, the region between Krishna and Tungabhadra, known as Raichur Doab, remained a bone of contention between the major kingdoms of the south. The deltaic plains formed by these two rivers at their mouths become famous under the Satavahanas. A number of towns and ports flourished in these plains in the beginning of the Christian era. The Kaveri Delta constitutes a distinct geographical zone in the far south. It became the seat of the Chola power. The Kaveri Basin, with its rich tradition, language, and culture, has flourished from the ancient times. As the southern peninsula is gifted with a long coastline, the people of this region took keen interest in the maritime activities. A great deal of trade and commerce went on through the seaways from the earliest times. In the east, mariners reached countries like Java, Sumatra, Burma, and Cambodia. Apart from trade, they spread Indian art, religion, and culture in these parts of the world. The commercial contacts between South India and the Greco-Roman countries flourished along with cultural relations. India, a land of unity in diversity. The history of ancient India is interesting because India proved to be a melting pot of numerous races: the pre-Aryans, the Indo-Aryans, the Greeks, the Scythians, the Hunas, the Turks, etc., made India their home. Each ethnic group contributed its might to the making of Indian culture. All these people mix so inextricably with one another that at present none of them can be identified in their original form. Different cultures mingled with one another through the ages. Many pre-Aryan or Dravidian terms occur in the Vedic text. Similarly, many Pali and Sanskritic terms appear in the Sangam literature. Since ancient times, India has been the land of several religions. Ancient India witnessed the birth of Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. But all these culture and religions intermingled with one another. Although Indians people speak different languages, practice different religions, and observe different social customs, they follow certain common styles of life throughout the country. Therefore, our country shows a deep underlying unity in spite of great diversity. In fact, the ancients strove for unity. They looked upon this vast subcontinent as one land. The name Bharatvarsha, or the land of Bharata, was given to the whole country after the name of an ancient tribe called the Bharatas. Our ancient poet, philosophers, and writers viewed the country as an integral unit. This kind of political unity was attained at least twice during the Mauryan and Gupta empires. The unity of India was also recognized by foreigners. They first came into contact with the people living on the Sindhu or the Indus, and so they named the whole country after this river. The word Hind is derived from the Sanskrit term Sindhu, and in course of time the country came to be known as India in Greek and Hind in Persian and Arabic languages. Efforts for linguistic and cultural unity of the country were made through the ages. In the 3rd century BC, Prakrit language served as the lingua franca of the country throughout the major portion of India. Ashoka's inscriptions were written in Prakrit language. Also, the ancient epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, were studied with the same zeal and devotion throughout the country. Originally composed in Sanskrit, these epics came to be presented in different local languages. Although Indian cultural values and ideas were expressed in different forms, the substance remained the same throughout the country. Hence, India has emerged a multi-religious and multicultural society. However, the underlying unity and integrity and the plural character of Indian society remain the real strength for the development of the country. Guys, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.